Okay, we're live.
We're live. Hey, Tim Arrowood here, People's Home Equity. And Ariel, I think that Matt has a Chick-fil-A sandwich for you. He says it's for one of the girls, but I think it's for you. So, all right. So today, first meeting of 2022. I'm so excited. So I've got Paul here, and I got Misty. Paul's gonna talk about something, but here in a second. But first of all, Happy New Year. And we had I don't know about you guys, we had a great 2021. It was awesome. My CRM, when I come in every morning, I look at how many leads we've got. I look at the dollars. I look at all that stuff. Came in Monday, zeros. It's like starting all over again. So we do that on a monthly basis with leads, but it's tough when there's all zeros. So you got to start from scratch. But excited about 2022. A lot of good stuff going on, and the building that I've mentioned to you all that we're building. Well, at the end of the month, we'll have it'll be at a spot where we can actually move in. So a bunch of trucks there working today. So I don't know if they were just there for, I don't know what they were there for, but hopefully they were. I wanted to celebrate, kind of a pat on the back a little bit without hurting myself, but Callie had somebody that came to us. It was the Sunday before Christmas, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Sunday before Christmas, and so it was a little SOS, and so we got clear to close on that yesterday, and there was, I think, 8 business days from the day we got the application to the date we got clear to close. And there was Christmas and New Year's in the middle of that. So it was kind of a miracle. Okay, we threw everything we had at it, but everything had to, the appraisal had to get picked up, and then get this, and this had to happen, and all those things had to happen. So that's going to close tomorrow, right? Monday. Cool. And then the other one that was another SOS in the same week, which is really weird. The guy, we had mobilized to make it happen, and then he said, I think I'll just stay with my lender, and because they're a little bit cheaper in rate. I'm like, are you serious? So I found out just a minute ago that he's ended up having to go pay cash for it because the lender is not going to be able to come through. So there's a little bit of, I really feel sorry for him. I hate it for him. So if you talk to him, Kelly, tell him I was thinking about it. What do they say? Thoughts and prayers. Tell him. So anyway, so anyway, so the one of the things I wanted Paul to do was to go over the new matrix. So we brought copies of these. I've been giving these out for a long time. I want to have him go over. There were some changes with well, I'll just let Paul go over the changes.
Hello, I'm Paul. Also Arrowood.
No relation.
They are. So did we pass these out or no? Do we have any?
No, I didn't pass up the
Oh, okay. Do we have them?
Okay.
So
I'm so confused.
most of y'all have seen these before. We do these just so you can keep track of products, everything like that. Things that we offer, some things that sometimes it's just rules and stuff, but also some tips that we think are helpful to know. I just went through with a marker on this one and circled some things that have changed. USDA and THDA, they always have max income, household income limits. Those have all adjusted. They pretty much adjust every year, especially with inflation. They've gone up. Nothing under 70,000 a year, which is good, especially so Washington County is normally the lowest, and it's for 1 to 2 people over 71,000 a year. So all that's a lot better obviously for the low income people that are trying to qualify anyway. Upped on across the board, the max loan amount has gone up. For conforming, that's now $647,200. It adjusted once or twice during the year last year.
Well, there was an expectation that it was going to go up, so we upped ours.
Okay.
And then we didn't. We anticipated it was going to go to like to 625, but it went to 647,200.
Yeah. So 2 years ago it was 510.
Yeah.
So it's it's gone up a lot recently.
And the big thing about that is with conventional, with it being 647, what was happening is that people would have to, if you wanted to have a loan amount over 510 or 560, whatever it is, you'd have to get a jumbo loan. And so those are generally more expensive and more difficult to get. And so now the maximum conforming is 647. So you could be, if you're putting 20% down, you could be buying I'd have to do the math, $800,000 house with 20% down. You're going to be able to do a simple conforming where, it wasn't too many years ago, it was quite a bit less. So,
which is pretty solid market now in this area, 7 to 8, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Anyway. Also a couple things that, to be honest, I don't know when they changed. I believe that he had it right originally, but looking through the details on some of what we have for our minimum credit scores, I think maybe it was when COVID first hit, some of those were, the minimum credit scores were upped. So now the USDA one is now 580, just like VA and FHA. So, and also, pricing's about the same. It's not great at 580 or 590 or something like that, but it's doable. And then Chinoa is 600. We had just always thought it was 620 for whatever reason.
it's just really expensive. When you
Yeah.
do the Chino 100% financing, it's a great program, but when you start to go into those lower credit scores, it can be expensive. And so it's kind of that one is the one of last resort. But if you got somebody with a 605 credit score and they don't have much money, then they don't really have any options. So,
And most of y'all probably already kind of know how it works with the DPA, the down payment assistance programs that we do, THDA and Chinoa. But with THDA, it's changed throughout this year, and instead of it used to be at 150,000, it changed. If it was under 150, it would be 6,000 lump sum, and if it was over 150,000, it would be 7,500 that you would get in that second lien. Now it's just a flat 6%. And so you're always going to get basically a loan that is 102.5% of the purchase price, because it's covering the 3.5% and then 2.5% of your closing costs. So that's normally really, really, really the best option to keep your cash low. Chinoa is really expensive as far as other origination charges and stuff we have to charge, and it doesn't really overlap much. So when you add another lien, but then you're also adding more costs and fees, sometimes it's not worth it.
but anyway, the THDA with the 6% is that if you're buying a $200,000 house, you can get $12,000 in the down payment assistance second. So that extra that you don't need, because you only need $7,000 to cover the FHA loan for the 3.5% down. So you've got $5,000 to go towards closing costs. And so, I think we've got a $250,000 THDA going right now. So there's plenty of money, and so you don't have to have that much money. It helps you not having to ask for or negotiate for self-pay closing costs, which are so difficult in this market.
So, and there's some overlays with those over top of FHA, but normally we're pretty well aware of those, and it normally coincides pretty well with FHA standards, both of those programs. But anyway, like I said, you're already familiar with most of that. Not a lot of this other stuff, as far as, of course, only real investment is going to be conventional. Most of those other government ones don't really have anything to do with that. The other thing that we've changed, the biggest thing that we've changed, is trying to make it more of a resource for you guys. On the back side, you see we've added this little block at the bottom with a few QR codes and links. You don't have to use these or watch these, but it's just an easy way to access some things that we think are useful links. USDA might not be, it's not every day that we have somebody pre-qualified with USDA, but if you do happen to have somebody, it's nice to be able to just find the link and put in your property and know if it's eligible or not. That shifted on Why Choose Us. It's bothered me. I don't know why it's not centered, but that's just a video, link to a YouTube video of him talking about some things. I don't remember everything that's covered in it, but some reasons. to work with us and what we do best.
And those may be some things that you'd share with your buyers.
Yeah.
Like,
The online application that we send you to, that's the first block. The quick-apply.online has a video from Tim talking at the beginning, and then you can go straight to the application. Sends us an email and goes straight to us if you do that. And then of course, Tim's already talked about several times the $5,000 closing guarantee, and that is basically the extra backing that we like to do if we're able to get somebody pre-approved, and also conventional pre-approved.
conventional VA, FHA, what we're looking for.
Non-DPA.
Yeah, non-down payment assistance program. Some of those things might be helpful to you as you, just sending some things to clients, and so, and sometimes the links are, instead of typing them out, just take a picture with your camera and take you there.
So that's the biggest things we've changed. Those other products, the specialty loans, we don't do a whole lot of. I've already talked about the renovation loans that we're thinking of, that Cardinal is rolling out, People's Home Equity, but we have not really gotten into it much, but it's still a possibility.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I was trying to be real quick there.
Yep.
Give you an update, and we've got those for. Yeah, we're handing them out to them, and it may be that others, it's meant to be a resource. All right, so the reason I wanted to ask you about Jerry Clower is that let's see, where's the one I asked? This is, where are you now? So Jerry, there's a saying that Jerry Clower said, is where will you be when you get where you're going? And so it's like the Stephen Covey version of that is begin with the end in mind. It's a little bit more fancy and stuff like that. So what I've actually, my team went through this. It's been a few weeks ago, didn't we? And so this is an exercise that I've done for years with some of the coaching that we've done. So well, we're going to do it whether you want to do it or not. All right. So you got a pen and paper. So what we're going to do is we're going to fast track. I don't know if everybody doesn't have one.
Does everybody have a pen, or if you don't,
Yep.
just raise your hand.
And these are high-end People's Home Equity pens.
These
So-
are actually really nice.
They write well.
They probably have about that much ink in them, but so the idea is, so there's 3 steps. The first is where are you now? You got to know where you are now before you can go forward. The second step that I'm going to share with you is, give you some context to what that looks like, and then finally we're going to look at, let's put some goals together. So when I think about this time of the year, I'm doing a lot of business planning, but before I do the business planning, I want to step back and I want to look at where do I want to be, right? Because the business is pretty closely attached to me as an individual, so I want to know where I want to be so that then I can turn around and I can start doing my other business planning. So the first box, right? So what we're looking at is the biggest struggle. We just this is going to be rapid fire. So work, money, love life, family, spirituality, friends, and self. What I want you to do is to just put the first 2 things that you think are the biggest struggles that you have in that first box. So for work, maybe the people you work with, that's the biggest struggle, or Matt, he could be the biggest struggle, or whatever that happens to be. This is not a work goal setting, but maybe the struggles you have is, I don't know, it could be doing your own, what am I trying to say? It could be, well, I want to do more business, or I need more leads, or whatever that would happen to be. So what I want to do is just, this is a workshop and not a speech. So I want you to go through and just write the 2 things that are the biggest struggles you have in work, right? Okay, go, Callie.
Tim, can you show that to the?
Yep. So we'll make sure, and Misty will make sure and send you an email with these PDFs.
And
Okay?
I'll post it in the comments.
Okay, yeah.
Am I supposed to say it out loud?
No.
Oh.
I mean, no. I just want you to write them down. No. Now you can, but that's not yeah. By the way, I'm not going to have anybody forcefully volunteer, but if you want to volunteer, that's okay. I'll tell you some of my things, as I go through. But the 2 things in work, then usually what I find is the first thing that comes to mind is usually the most accurate. Just write them down and then go back and we'll think about them. But the 2 things in work, the 2 things in money, not enough of it, or maybe I don't have a budget, or maybe I get too much consumer debt, or whatever it would happen to be. And we're just putting down the struggles that we have first. Love life, all right? Get one, right, Paul? So, there's I'm just stalling while you guys can write stuff down there. But one of the coaches, the company that I worked with for years was called The Core Training, and the main guy his name is Rick Ruby, and he's just a gruff guy, just a real driven guy. And when it came down to friends, he says, for the last 3 years, I've written down, get one. I just need a friend. So he's so often coaching other people and in that role that he doesn't have peers that he can see as friends. And that's probably one of my things. I got a lot of acquaintances, but I don't have any real friends. Maybe Matt. He's the only one that gives me a hug when he sees me. Creeped me out the first few times, but it's getting easier. So, work, money, love, life, family. So family. So for me, it's I think about the struggles. My dad passed away this year. My mom, Paul and I were talking on the way down here. My mom she's 81 years old, and she doesn't have anything to live for. It's like, so I need to go. That's some struggle. How do I help? How do I help her? The last one, self. I'm struggled with. I lost some weight before while I was sick with COVID, and now I put it all back on. So I need to work on that. And then I'm still out of shape. I'm pre-COVID out of shape. So.
I lost weight on COVID, and then after I got over it, my appetite came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
It was like everything I could.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 to 10 is rated for what?
So hold on. When do you get the others? Don't get too far ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
All right. So get all the other ones in. So so work. I want to make someone or a biggest struggle, and I'd like to make more money. Or for me, I'm 53 years old. I started out really all over again 11 years ago, and so I've had to rebuild. So I didn't have. Some of you may not know the story, but I had a business that failed, and it took everything. So I'm doing well, but I got a late start. Paul, on the other hand, he doesn't have any. He lives at home, and doesn't have very many expenses. And he's got money coming in, and so he's already way ahead. So if he just sits on the money that he's got in the bank, he'll be all fine when he's my age. Money won't be worth anything, but so family, spirituality, self. Actually, I don't have many hobbies, so I'm like, well, what do I struggle with? So I went, it was 70 degrees on Saturday, so I went and shot trap. It was fun. Need to do that more often. And then it goes and freezes up on us. All right. I'm not going to read them. I can't read very anyway. You got something down for every one of them? Mm-hmm. All right. You getting there?
Almost.
All right. Come on, Callie. I see some blanks.
I don't have a love life.
Hmm?
I don't.
Is there still the struggle?
Still a struggle. Still a struggle.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you're
that's
kind of mixing your terminology.
Sorry. Okay. So what are the biggest struggles in work? Struggles in money, struggles in love life, struggles in family, struggles in spirituality.
And then overall.
Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do is rate them from 1 to 10. So if you finish that, go on to the box on the side. Just rate it from 1 to 10. My work life is on a scale of 1 to 10. It's really. It's. I work with math. It's like a 9.5. Just write that down, whatever that is.
Math's
So,
a half point off.
What's that?
What are we rating it on? I'm sorry.
Just
is
how
it
you.
policy objective?
one-
Rate?
Yeah.
Rate?
When I said math was 9.5, that could have been
Oh,
bad.
well, when you
So
talk about
1 is bad.
Oh.
10 is good.
Yeah.
So just on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel like your work life is? That area of your life, is it? I'm at about a 5, or I feel like this is really it's humming along. I feel really good. I'm a 9 on my work.
Is 10 where you want to be?
Yeah, 10's where you want to be. Sorry. Okay. So same with money. Okay.
That's exactly where I want to be here.
All right. Okay, so Hmm?
Or is that the next one?
No, this is still that. Okay, so last thing, the biggest struggle in all, if you were to say in all of these things, what's the one thing that is the biggest struggle that overarches everything? So what would, and just write that down at the bottom.
Okay.
The one thing, right? I'm sure you've read that. I started, I just couldn't read it. Gary, yeah, the one thing. Gary Keller, no, not Gary Keller, Gary, is it Keller? He's the one that wrote the book,
Yeah.
The One
Yeah,
Thing?
yeah,
Okay. So,
From Keller Williams?
yeah. So it felt like it was just saying, it was a thick book and it said the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. The one thing. What's that one thing if you did?
It
It
was
would make,
just the whole book. It's
So-
like one thing.
One thing.
What does it mean? Like just one thing.
Alright. Paul? I need your help. All right, now hand these out. This is called the visual wheel. So everybody gets one of those.
I wanna hear everyone, so I'm so nosy.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to share, but you know, I've learned that you know,
Mine, you tell me yours.
this is personal stuff. So I don't want you to be inhibited in what you write down because if you think you might have to say it.
You cheated, didn't you?
Think about love
No,
each
but
other, I
then
think
it's
we're
the
good to
same
share.
Good stuff that
Hey, that's completely up to you. I think it's great.
More
What do
conversation.
you wanna, you wanna?
Yeah, that's next. You already, you skipped ahead.
You wanna say?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, they wrote down goals already. Dad's instructions.
So I gave bad instructions.
I think
No,
that's
I
good.
just read the book of struggles. I just thought of
Oh,
what fixed the struggle, and so then I just
Okay.
did that.
All right. So
That's a good way to think so.
does everybody have 1 through on the side in the boxes?
Yeah.
You have a 1 through 10 in those boxes.
Yeah.
On every one of those boxes. Okay. Now go to this one. Right, find the corresponding work, right? And there should be number, but they're not. But if we're assume that 1 is in the center and 10 is at the end, and each of those dashes
So
is
one is one notch.
yeah, one notch, right? So if you put my work life as a 1, then just draw a circle, kind of make a circle on that dash. Oh, Paul, you know I care about you. I care about
Do
you.
you want one of the other things?
So draw a circle
I'll
on
get
the number.
We'll get that out in a second.
Like that?
Yeah. So each one of those, you're gonna circle one of those dashes. So now you know what money is. You're gonna know. So you're gonna, and when you get done, what you're gonna do after you've got those little circles around the
Like
circle.
connect the dots, is it gonna make a picture?
Yeah, we're getting have coloring books and all kinds of stuff here soon. So once you've got those circles, those dashes circles. So you've got
Y'all go out in.
yeah. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've got circles.
Over time, I didn't see it.
So zeros and then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So you're going to make a circle, and then you're going to go through and draw a line from the work circle to the self circle to the friend circle to the family circle, love life circle, spirituality, and money.
Drawing a line?
Yeah.
It makes a
I see.
circle of sorts.
Mine's a broken circle.
Okay, just like you were counting 1 to 10 toward the middle or out?
Starting at the center would be 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mine's a
6.
very
That's
broken
how I was
circle
thinking.
too.
Yeah.
This car's going nowhere.
So that's kind of the concept, the wheel of life, to where you want.
Switch back into cold.
There's two things that you want to do. One is that if you can see when you look at this how out of balance perhaps your life might be. Like
Gosh, I said so good about myself. New year, new me.
a new year, new me.
That's also not good if everything's in balance, but it's at 1.
Yeah. Everybody's. I just have a miserable small.
That's my car crash.
The wheel
I'm
works, but
assuming this is what it does.
So the idea is to visually look at that and say, well, okay, I've got an amoeba here, or it's flat, or whatever it happens to be, and so you want to. Obviously, you want to take the things that are closest to the middle, and you want to push them out, right? So you want to get from that 1 to a. For me with friends, I don't have any friends, so I go from 1 and push it out to a 5. But you want to start to see how to have balance, right? So for me, I would find that my work and money are really good, but I don't have many friends, so I was like, I need to work on that area. I need to push the friends. I need to not push the friends away because I don't have that many. But yeah, like Matt,
Gosh, Matt, put it away.
All right, so and right at the bottom, right just down there, what's the biggest aha that you got to looking at that? Right? Like, I live a miserable life. Or, actually, I just need to work on this. Or, it's not so bad. Something like that. So you're not having to share this with everybody. Except Callie, she's got to tell everybody.
No.
Now tell us, like.
Oh, yeah, we're going to scan it and send it to everybody.
Oh.
All right. All right, so everybody about done with that?
Did you show that one on?
So I did show this one. Right.
I think I did it wrong.
Okay.
This was fun.
All right. Now, where will you be? Where will you be when you get where you're going? So this is one. Paul, you can hand these out. I took those back.
Everybody turn it in.
So this is where we're turning those frustrations from the first one, biggest struggle in each area, and you're going to turn those into actionable items. So what are two things that you're going to do in the work box? Well, you wrote down what your struggles were. So what are the goals that you're going to have for that?
And now instead of each of these being 1 to 10 on the side, you're going to rate them. You're not going to repeat a number.
So what Paul's saying is that
boxes, so it's 1 to 7. There's going to be a box, an area that's
Right.
least important and the one that's most important.
Right.
Oh, so we're
You know what I
rating
mean?
each one.
Yeah, you're going to rank them.
So most important things or most important.
So the first thing you're going to do is go through and make sure you've got them in here, right? 2 in the work, 2 goals in the work, 2 goals in the money, 2 goals in the love life. Do those first, and then you're going to go back and say, well, of all these things, what's the most important in my life right now? So I should say, well, self. Maybe for me, I really need to lose some weight and I need to get in shape. So I'm going to make that priority 1. So I'm going to put a 1 there, but what's next? Maybe it's family and, so you're going to do these boxes and put 2 things. That's the easiest thing. And then you're just going to order of importance. What do you think is the most important on a scale of 1 to 7? So you've got 7 boxes, so you're going to use only 1 letter or 1 number for each of those. You got that? We didn't give you one either, did you? He's fired twice. Oh, you forgot him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I got him.
Well, he's sitting in there.
I know.
By himself.
You're
All right.
Billy.
All right. So, since you're a goal guy, Matt, and I can pick on you. So what's one that you pick, just that's not too radical, that you would be glad to share with class?
What now?
I don't know, which one of these goals would you have that you would feel comfortable sharing?
Like what? Here, I'll go to this side. I put over here see first sheet.
Okay, I picked on the wrong guy, okay? Because he doesn't follow instructions. So nobody listen to Matt.
No,
Okay.
look. So, for work, I put, here's my goals, right? Spending less time with tire kickers. So being able to identify who is just watch too much Chip and Joanna and wants to play buyer.
Okay.
Doesn't actually pull the trigger.
So when we're looking at setting goals, what's the what is it? SMART?
SMART goals.
SMART is
Specific, measurable, attainable. I can never remember R. Realistic and time bound.
yeah. So look at that.
Good job, Joey. Good job.
So specific. So for me, to pick it, like for me, for self, right? I want to lose weight. That's not good enough. Okay. I want to lose X amount of pounds by a certain date, right? That's a real specific, measurable, attainable, right?
You said it.
What's R?
Realistic.
Realistic,
Time bound.
and time bound. So
He was thinking rowdy.
okay, so again, like for me, for friends, well, maybe twice a month we're going to have a dinner party at our house and invite people, right? That might be, and we're going to do this starting February 1st, something like that. So it needs to be very specific, because if it's, I'm just going to lose weight, then, So for me, it would be, for self would be, like I want to lose, I want to be at, by the end of the year, I want to be at 250 pounds.
And if you set a goal like that for the end of the year, then you need to set
intermediate
Smaller
goals. Yeah, smaller
Because
goals.
If you just set a year-end goal, then it lets you put it off for 3, 4, 5 months.
Exactly, yeah. So, but we would look at this, we would say, these are the long-term yearly goals or things like that. And then, you know, what I'm going through right now with my own business is my coach is say, okay, we know where you want to be at the end, but let's do a 90-day action plan from that. Now, we're not going to get into that. But the idea is if you write it down, the act of writing it down combined with, you know, if you're comfortable, the idea is to laminate it and it's official. You keep it on your desk, keep it in your car, put it where you can see it. And I think one of the next things we've talked about doing, and we haven't scheduled it yet, but to do like a vision board. You know, get out the paper and the scissors and the glue and make a vision board. This is, you know, this is the house I kind of want to live in. This is all those different things. So, all right. So, SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. Yes, I knew that. All right. So you got some?
Yeah.
Cool. And so you got them from. I can't see. I see.
Are
fuzzy.
they rate of important? I mean, they're
Yeah.
all equally important to me.
Well, so what you would do is this is a forced program. So you're going to say, well, I know that friends and self are equally important, but one is you're going to have to make a
Okay.
decision. So,
Okay.
so you're not going to use the same number in any of these boxes. So you're going to have 1 through 7 in some sort of.
Okay.
Bless you. Walk that one off.
Well, what if one of them's 0?
Well, it's 1 to 7.
All right.
So you've been around that too long, and you're not following instructions. That's really where you're at.
Work on following instructions, Alex.
Yes.
Her and math.
Pardon me?
And listening.
And listening skills. That's right. That's right. Right. All right. So we've got them written down, and you may not be finished, but we need to keep moving here.
Yeah.
May not be finished, but you know, write them down. You're going to put the order of importance, and then you know you're going to see what's that one most important goal that you need to work on. Right. So, and probably because we forced you to put them from 1 to 7, then you're probably going to go look at the one that has a 1 next to it, because that's going to be the most important. And you're going to say, okay, maybe there's 2 goals in there. Maybe
I
which
thought
of those?
7 was the most important.
You know what? That's great. So 7 is the
End of the
best.
exercise, however you end it.
Just be consistent. Just be consistent, right?
I did that too when we
Do
were
1 to
doing
3
it. I was like,
in
I had
order of
everything
importance,
backwards.
and then work back down from 7 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So 7 is the most important for Cal. So take that now. You know, let's say that money is your box where that's number 1. If let's say it seems a little shallow, but maybe it is. If you don't have any, it's pretty important. So then there's 2 things there that are in there for goals. It would make sense probably. We're gonna make you pick which one of those is the most important out of those 2. So we've forced you to identify what is that one thing that you really, really, really want to accomplish. You know, and then you're gonna write that down there. What's your most important goal to focus on?
Out of everything?
Yeah, out of everything. What's that one most important goal for you to focus on? So we did bring a laminator today, so you can laminate your own. And we wanted to show everybody how a laminator works, right?
That's right,
Karen?
because Karen wants one.
Karen wants a laminator, so we brought ours. She didn't get to keep it, but she can see how it works. So,
I'm gonna make a video of it, giving it to the owners.
so anyway, the idea was that if you laminate it, it's like it's permanent. So, I mean, you're going to change and things like that, but the activity of not overthinking it, trying to get something done in a short amount of time, you can take it with you, and I think it's a really good exercise for you. So, hopefully that's been eye-opening. I think, Misty, you said that you felt like that it was helpful. You made you realize some things, right?
Yeah. There's something about putting things down on paper
Yeah,
and actually the visualization of the
the amoeba.
so-called will.
And the so-called boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
So I think that's all I had. Where's my little?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Did
So,
you show that last paper?
oh, did I?
I don't
think
know.
Where are you now? Where will you be? Where will you be?
Yeah, where were you be with the
Yeah.
last one?
So we'll get to we'll send you a PDF of this so that you can share it with everybody. And, you know.
Thank you, Tim, and
You're welcome.
Arrowood team.
I'm hungry.